Hey guys, welcome to the No Bullshit Gymcast podcast. My special guest today is Jordan. Welcome, mate. Welcome to the podcast. Give everyone a little insight to you. So, obviously, I know you're an ex-professional, was it? Did you get your
Yeah.
professional? Yeah. So you got ex-pro footballer here, or soccer for the guys around the world. So, give us a little insight, mate.
So obviously when I was growing up I played for my local team throughout since I was 9, 10. Um Made it as a pro footballer. Obviously at that time every young lad's dream, chasing my dream, told all my teachers at school like this is it, this is me sorted for the rest of my life. As we all do. Didn't really take much care for school or anything like that. But when I left school everything sort of worked out for 3 or 4 years. Full-time footballer, got a professional contract at my hometown club. And things were good. Was getting a couple of minutes in the first team when I was around 18, training with them every day. So yeah, I thought this is it. I've hit the nail on the head. And then eventually the game time never came. Getting sent out on loan. And from there, just things just started to slowly fade away. And I did do 1 year pro, and then I got offered another 6 months, which I took. I thought it was a great opportunity to try and stamp my mark again, but one thing led to another. And within 6 months, I was sort of left jobless, left without a career, and couldn't get another full-time team. So it was assessing what I was going to do next.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I can go through that story. I was released a youngster before I even got a pro um, contract, but it is part of life, it's part of the sport, unfortunately. But yeah. So, what made you decide to become an online coach, PT, whichever you started first? What was the reasoning behind it?
So essentially, for me, when I left football, it was kind of like, what do I want to do? Um, and as many of us at the time, you sort of just wanted money. So fell into bricklaying. I'd done an apprenticeship bricklaying, which it was okay to start with, and then I soon enough fucking hated it. Slowly after that, well, I did set up my own football coaching business as well, so I was coaching young kids how to play football. But me and the missus wanted to go travelling for a long time, and we sort of set our sights on doing that, leaving the football business behind, but knowing that would still be there when I got back. And essentially, when I was traveling, I understood that I wanted to have the freedom of travel. I wanted to be able to work from anywhere in the world, essentially. So that's what gave me the inspiration to become a personal trainer, get my qualifications, which I was doing when I was away. I was studying, got my level 2, and then obviously level 3 PT. Qualified in that shortly when I got back, and it was really about building up the football coaching business when I got back first and foremost to get some income.
Mm-hmm.
And in January 2024, that's when I sort of made the decision to get online and start taking on some clients,
Wow.
which I've sort of not looked back, and things are progressing nicely now.
Cool. So obviously you've been in a relatively short period of time in comparison, say, my boring 23 years. What sort of things have you come up against, like, i.e., fitness influencers, online sort of trolling, stuff like that? Have you come across any of that sort of stuff?
For myself, as we've just said there, you're 23 years experience. I'm relatively new, just over 18 months now. And again, I feel like I'm a novice in terms of stuff like that. But when you speak to experienced coaches or you work around experienced coaches as well, you do get an understanding that there's a lot of bullshit out there in terms of influencers saying that there's you need to do certain things, whether that's like cutting out carbs, carnivore diets, stuff like that. That's all obviously all a load of bullshit as well. But it's kind of trying to build up that trust with your audience and getting an understanding of who
Mhm.
you want to work with as well.
So for the guys and girls out there, who do you work with? What age range? Is it male, female, so on and so on?
Yeah, so my niche, my the ideal client I want to work with, it's a fella, it's a man who ages anywhere between 23 and sort of 50. I feel that's the perfect demographic for me because we've all had the same experiences, whether it's you've been drinking lots of alcohol and you've lost your way, or you've been binge eating, or you've just lacked motivation. And
Yeah,
a lot of the men I work with have all got the exact same problems that I want to fix and actually bring a community of like-minded people together.
yeah, yeah,
So when I first started online, when I first started training or coaching people, I was just going to take in anyone and everyone that I possibly
yeah,
could do. And what I soon realized within that as well, it's a hard market to navigate
yeah,
because your content has to have a bit of everything. But also as well, I'm not an expert in coaching women. I don't understand the women's cycles and stuff like that. And going down that road and understanding that, that's a whole new level of education. So the best thing for me is I need to educate myself mostly around the things that the people I work with struggle with the most. And then obviously upskill in areas where I need to get better at myself.
yeah. I get that. I get that. Yeah, it is a bit of a it's a bit of a minefield if you don't fully understand it, or you don't want to educate yourself in it. It can play havoc. I can remember back in the early days, I had a girl who literally put a stone on at the wrong time of the month every month.
Oh,
Yeah, go, but you're like, wow, oh
yeah.
my God, what's going on? So yeah, it does play minefield games on you. But otherwise, yeah, that so how many guys do you have at the moment working with you?
At this moment in time, I'm working with 32 fellas at this moment in time.
Yeah, and how do you find that with time? And obviously, the original goal was, and everyone's dream of being online is having more frequent time to yourself. How do you find that? Do you find if you were doing it, say, for instance, obviously you've gone from learning to become an online coach to online coaching only, rather than being in the gym floor? Do you feel that you still have as much free time to yourself being online, or as you would be in a normal 9 to 5?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question because it can vary on the sort of person that you are and the type of coach that you want to be. So for myself, the the most important thing in my business is my clients and making sure that they're looked after and they're doing the right things on a daily basis as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
first and foremost, every single day, wake up if you've got any clients that you need to
yeah.
respond to that straight away. That's your job at the end of the day.
Uh-huh.
But the important thing is about it within that as well. It's about setting boundaries. So with my clients as well, there's a point where at 7 p.m., if you message me after 7 p.m., I'll likely reply the following day. And that's set in stone straight away. So ideally, with the systems and the programming that I've got in place for my clients, I do my check-in days over a Tuesday and Wednesday because I want to give the best service over 2 days in terms of check-ins because I don't want to saturate one day. If I've done 32 check-ins on a Tuesday, by the time I'm coming to that 18th, 19th, 20th check-in and
Yeah,
then beyond,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not giving the same delivery. I'm not giving the same performance that I am for that first one.
No, not
So spreading that workload over that couple of days is great. But if we go back to that original point, do I feel like I've got time? I can have time if I want to have time, but I like to fill my calendar and I like to have a structured schedule where
mm-hmm.
I know I'm getting certain things done, whether that's content, whether it's email marketing,
Mm-hmm.
whether it is creating lessons for the education portal for the fellas that I've got as well.
Cool, cool. So yeah, well, it sounds like it's positively going forwards. And it's where you want it to go. Where do you see yourself in the next, say, 5 years? Is that something you want to move forwards? Is that something you want to just like expand out and have people working for you? Or is it more like it's you just want to keep it a little tidy and niche and have the flexibility?
It's a very good question, and I was actually on a call yesterday, and the same question came up. Where do you see the business? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? And for me, it's not about building a powerhouse of a business where you're making 50K a month and you've actually got 35K of outgoing goings and you're scrambling around for sales on the last 5 days of the month. I want to have a business where I'm in control of the business.
Mm-hmm.
I work with every single client and I do pretty much everything. if I do need to delegate some tasks, I can do that. But essentially, what I see this business being in 5 years' time is me working with 45 good fellas who are happy to be in the program, who want to be a part of that community.
Mhm.
And for myself personally, I can be working remotely
Mhm.
anywhere in the world that I want to travel to, but knowing fine well that I've got a good client base who are not only just doing it for themselves, but also doing it to keep the community thriving as well.
Cool, cool, cool. So I'm going to ask a few of your opinions on these sorts of things because I know my opinion. So, do you feel influencers are misleading the public?
100%. 100%.
Give me an example of a, don't name the influencer, but the example of the thing that you've seen is misleading. It's probably your biggest bugbear of it.
Yeah, it's there's obviously a lot where you do see them and it does make you stop and think sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing for me is the carnivore side of things. Um, just eating meat because speak to my dad. My dad often says, "Oh, I've jumped on this carnivore hype. I've lost this much weight in this much time."
Mm-hmm.
Right, fast. I'll see my dad 2 weeks later. He's like, "Oh, what you been doing? You look like you put a little bit of weight on the last 2 weeks." Oh, I've just been having a couple of dirty weeks.
Mm.
Ask why. Oh, well, that diet wasn't really sustainable. I didn't go to the toilet for 5 days. I just needed a bit of quench. So that's one of the big things that really, especially because my dad's done it as well now, right? Like he would never normally go for something, but the fact that he's like sort of stuck onto that, but then realizes it doesn't work. But then if he wants to lose a bit of weight, he'll try and do it again.
Yeah.
So that's the big one for me. That is a big bugbear.
Yeah. I'm not like, every diet's got its own right, okay? And everyone, it might work for you, it might work for me, it might work for Joe Blocks, right? But we all know, being what we do for a living, is none of this is sustainable, right? So none of it is sustainable by just eating freaking protein and fats. Nothing's sustainable by eating, you know, um, just carbs. Nothing's sustainable by just eating protein and that's it, or white products, or whatever crazy idea you want to come up with, or having foods as sins and shit like this. But you're allowed to eat as many carbs as you like. Who cares? It doesn't work. It really doesn't. Slimming well does not freaking work. So I'll give you my biggest bugbear. It's got to be the old magical pens now of jab, 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 jab. Mr.
Yeah, for sure,
Ozempic,
man.
Mr. Monjaro. Yes, there's retatrutide, which is this new fancy one, which a lot of bodybuilders are using. Yes, it's in stage 2 research at the moment, and there's a lot less side effects from that instead of Monjaro or Ozempic. But the amount of people I've seen online lately lose their shit because the government are seeing a mass tenfold of people. Oh, I want to. Oh, I need it. I need it. I need it. I was in the doctors having my bloods checked, like back in May, right? And this woman was on it, and she came charging in. I need it. I need it. I need it. I need a 15 milligram pen now. Lost her shit.
No way.
And I'm like, it's not going to do you any good because as soon as you start or you stop, you're going to put that on and tenfold, and then you've lost all your muscle mass. Then you're going to damage all your bone structure because all it does is suck it out of you, right? But they all just don't want to do jack shit. And that's my
Yeah,
point: is you got to pick something which is sustainable, like going walking. It's sustainable. Go to the gym. If you can sustainably go to the gym 3 days a week, go to the gym 3 days a week. If that's what you wish to do and you know you can do that in your life, do it. Otherwise, don't. You know what I mean? And it's the same with food. If you can't sustainably do it, don't do it because it ain't gonna last. You know, I could okay, put it. I know, for instance, guys, girls, Jordan did a photo shoot not long ago, and he did a prep for that photo shoot, right?
yeah.
And basically, I know he had probably the same diet every single day for how many weeks? 16 weeks?
16 weeks, same thing every day.
Exactly. But wait a second. People don't want to do that. That's no, no, no. Can't do that. No, sorry. I will bring it up, right? I had a client today of a recording, Um, Messaged me at 5:45 a.m. saying, I've done 6 weeks with you. Her reasons for why she wants to leave. But I had a phone call with her less than 24 hours before this saying, well, yeah, I'm sick and tired of eating like plain chicken and rice and broccoli. And because it says in my app, cooked chicken, her interpretation, instead of asking a question, which, you would think as a grown ass woman and an adult, you would ask your coach, Coach, can I have X, Y, and Z with this? Or, Coach, how can I make this a little bit better? No, decided to eat plain chicken and broccoli and rice for 6 weeks.
Yeah, no one can sustain that. No one in this world can
So no
sustain
one's going to be able to sustain it. So no one's going to do that diet. You're not going to enjoy that diet. You're not going to have, you know, the nourishment. You're just going to dread it. You're going to be like, oh man, I'm going to dread it. So these are some of the little mistakes and things that you find as a coach. You get, come across. Have you come across much of this sort of stuff as a coach with your clients?
it. In terms of the nutrition side of things and in terms of how they want to manage their nutrition, I
Mhm.
feel like I've got a good roster of people that I work with now who sort of implement what I tell them. But I like to have a bit more of a flexible approach with the nutrition side of things as well, because the key for anyone like we've spoke about is it being sustainable. And I work with a lot of fellas who have a social life, who want to go out for a few beers, who want to go out and have a meal with the missus, who want to take the kids out for a nice meal or get a McDonald's if they're out and about. So for my clients, if they've got a calorie target that I want them to hit and they've got a protein goal, they can get a McDonald's within that calorie target or that protein goal if they want. They can go out for a Nando's with the mates. They can go out and have a couple of pints in a pub meal.
Yeah,
But essentially, as long as it's in and around the calories on that given day, or we could potentially bank a couple of calories the day before or after. But as long as we've got some sort of understanding of what we want to get out of that situation and how we want to attack that, then I'm happy for that flexibility. We do have a structure in terms of a meal plan that is created for them, but this is
mm-hmm.
created around them. And all meals are, if I got that meal plan, I'd be very, very happy to eat, to switch between the 7 or 8 options that they do get for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the snack options as well.
Yeah, yeah. I sort of give them 3 days, very similar calorie breakdown in each 3 days, but there's different foods throughout those 3 days, and they can literally just go right. Like, I eat option one all that day, Monday, so on and so on. But even then, it's still at times no, I'm finding this boring. I'm like, how can you find this boring? I'll give you really boring food if you really, really want, because I can do it. And yeah, you'll lose your shit on that a lot quicker. So obviously, working with your guys, and you work specifically with guys, right? Now, obviously, I work with mostly women. But do you find, from your perspective, guys having unrealistic, how do I put it, unrealistic body standards on themselves, or high standards that they're looking to aim for, which just aren't realistic in the timeframes that they're doing it in or want to do it in?
Yeah, I think that's a good question as well. And to be honest, a lot of the people or the fellas that I work with are quite understanding of the position that they're in right now. So if they come to me and they know they've got a considerable amount of body fat,
Mhm.
they don't have a specific body composition that I'd like to get to. Yeah, we can set weight loss goals, but for me as well, the best thing is if someone tells me that they want to lose 30 kilo, it's about me being so honest with them about that situation.
Mm.
They're not going to lose 30 kilos in the next 8 weeks. They're not going to lose that 30 kilos in the next 12 weeks. I've got clients who have lost 30 kilos in 6 months. But for me, the biggest thing isn't just losing that 30 kilos. It's actually knowing how to maintain that 30 kilo weight loss and then actually coming out of it safely and going into a reverse dieting phase as well. So if someone wants to lose a considerable amount of weight, which a lot of the fellas that I've worked with do want to do, the biggest thing that I explain is this is going to be a longer period of time. This is going to be 6 months minimum.
Mm.
And if you do want to sustain them results, you're looking at 9 months to a year to sustain that and actually come out of it safely.
Yeah.
And straight away, well, most of the fellas that I work with, they understand that, they get that buy-in, and once they can understand that it doesn't just need to happen straight away, that we look at the long term, but obviously we
Mhm.
set short-term targets for them as well.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. I like that. I like that. I do that with my female clients. It's not going to be over 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 12 weeks. It's this is how generally it works over this sort of period, and then we start to see bigger results further down the line. Now, obviously, the industry is shall we say, from our experiences, a little bit of a mess. But do you feel that there is a dark side to the communities of the fitness industry? Do you feel like there is an underground sort of, like, how do I put it? We'll put unrealistic expectations out there, like, yeah, you can get into this shape in this sort of time, or you do this and you'll have this and you'll have these abs and so on and so on.
100% people are always trying to sell the quick fixes. Do this in 8 weeks, drop this in sort of 6 weeks, do this. And people are just looking to make a quick bit of money, quick bit of profit. And people do run the businesses like that. People do work on quick turnovers. But the way I see it, if someone's selling a 6 week program, an 8 week program, and actually getting people in for that and not actually managing to, well, they get the results, but not understanding how to then reverse them out of it safely, or actually showing them a roadmap of how they're going to do it.
Exactly.
That's the biggest issue that we're facing now. And because people actually go, right, this is a result in 8 weeks' time. Yeah, like I've just had a client who lost 15 kilos in 8 weeks, but he's got 40 kilos to lose overall. So
Yeah.
sometimes with that rate of loss, I would expect that rate of loss with a client who's potentially that much heavier. But I'm not gonna falsify him and say, right, this is what should be happening, this is where we're gonna get to. But yeah, as you say, there's a lot of darkness, and people are trying to quick sell people into the programs
Yeah.
and say, this will happen in 8 weeks, come and join the program, we'll do this, and this. And they sell them the dream. And I've had many clients who've came to me, and they've done an 8 week plan before. And then I say, well, what happened? Well, I went 10 steps backwards. I actually gained an extra
There you
5 kilo on my initial weight.
You will do. You will do. So, obviously, you know, there's a mental side of it, and like I know what women are like. And I don't really work with a lot of younger guys. I've got a couple of young guys, but it's minimal, shall we say? But most of it, all your guys are guys, right? Do you find that, obviously, being guys, especially younger generation, it's like it's less of like the sort of back in the day man's man sort of guy, where now, I'm not calling you an airy fairy, even though you're a Man U supporter. Um, had to get that in here today, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
do you feel that the mental health side of things is affecting younger guys probably more than an older guy that you probably may have worked with previously or in the past, or you are currently working with?
It's quite a challenging question to sort of pick apart, because essentially there's obviously a lot of stuff around mental health, and I'm actually working through a course at this moment in time, which is it's called Built to Coach. And these guys are very good at allowing us to understand, if you do feel you do have a client in that situation,
Yeah.
you've got to refer that straight away. And it's picking up on them signs. And when someone first starts with you, there is obviously the question, have you got any sort of mental health, anything that I should know about? And straight away, if I haven't, I haven't had many with it, maybe a couple of fellas with anxiety. And again, I've never personally had it myself, so I don't understand how that works. So if they ever do reach out to me and say I'm feeling this, and this, if I can help them to a certain extent, I will do. But
Mm-hmm.
if I feel like it's out of my remit, I will
Prefer it.
I'll redirect them and refer them. Yeah.
Cool, man. Do you feel though that the gym helps a lot of guys? It's almost like stereotyped back in the day, like, oh yeah, you're only going to the gym because you can become a steroid freak, rah rah rah, all this lot. Now, where it's now, okay, yeah, we all want to be a bit of prima donna and poncy little boy with his like Gymshark vest shirt on and shit, trying to pretend to show off little skinny muscles that have only grown in 5 minutes. But do you feel that the industry and the gym environment itself has improved mental health for that in its own right?
think it certainly does help. Um, like you probably know yourself, right? Like there's them days where you feel shit or you feel like you're being cooped up in the office all day. You've dealt with a client's issue and you feel terrible about yourself.
Hmm.
And sometimes for me, there's nothing better. Like I obviously love training as well, right? Like there's nothing better than going to the gym and sort of just switching off for an hour. Or for myself, I love going for a run or play football. And again, when I speak to a lot of my clients, I know it's just been a bank holiday weekend as well, right? So a lot of them's been out at festivals and stuff like that. And a couple of them, well, two or three of them's got a session in and said like straight away they feel miles better for getting it done instead of just sitting about all day and
Yeah.
not actually moving the body. So I think exercise is probably one of the biggest things that can help with the mental side of things
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Some
Yeah. Go ahead.
sometimes what you'll potentially see is people will attack the physical side of training straight away if they have been through a hard time mentally and just deep dive into training, go all in and sort of right, that's a personality now when the personality might have not been there in the past.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I've seen it before where it comes to a sort of lockerhead where like the both come together, like the past and then where they are right now. So sometimes people need to understand that,
Mhm.
yeah, you can train to improve your mental health, but you can't just neglect it at the same time as well. You still need to tackle that issue head on.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So obviously, how do you keep your guys? Obviously, I'm not saying women aren't as motivated as men because I know some seriously motivated women, but how do you keep your guys motivated to work out regularly? Like you're saying now, it's a bit like after a weekend away on the lash at a festival or something. How do you get them back motivated, kicking butt again in the gym?
Oh, well, I suppose it's them seeing that they've made progress
Hmm.
already and going back to the progress that they've made previously. If they use them that day where they feel demotivated or they do that check-in where things haven't been perfect, it's like, well, just look back and see how far you've actually came.
Hmm.
So say someone started me and they didn't go to the gym at the start, but now they're getting 2 or 3 sessions in a week.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like you didn't even used to go to the fucking gym, mate. Like look at the difference that you've made. So it's always having that self-reflection for them as well.
yeah,
But again, I suppose them days where they are struggling or that they've been out over the weekend and they can't be fucked. The community side of things is massive for me. And every Monday morning without fail, I'll be there at 5:30. I'll be sharing a video to the fellas in the group, getting everyone motivated for the week, explaining a little bit about my weekend. Hopefully they've had a good weekend.
yeah,
Let's set some standards this week and take things to the next level. And I always get the fellas in the program to react with an emoji to let me know that they are ready for that week. And obviously it's just, yeah, you can just put a thumb up, but again, still having that little bit of inspiration and having something to work towards. But again, I'm big on the fellas sharing their wins with people in the group as well.
yeah,
So
yeah,
if you see someone else in the program that's winning and you're not winning, well, what have you been doing that week why you're not winning? Because I know my program works. I'm proving that client's proven that it works.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so why is it not working for you? What aren't you doing this week that 27 other lads are doing?
yeah,
And that's where the community keeps people motivated as well. It keeps people on the toes because if I share a of a client, they might think, well, I want that to be me next week. I want that win to be shared about me.
yeah, yeah. I get that. I get that. That's pretty cool, man. So obviously, you know, you going back to your food sort of thing quickly, right? Just to get your perspective on how you do it with your clients. And do you write them all the recipes out? Do you you know, give them a list of foods and just the calories you want to have them to have? How do you do it?
So just going back to obviously, I'm pretty flexible with the approach that they take.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the main thing for me is them getting to understand to track the calories, which I
Yeah.
feel. is the most useful tool. But again, some people may not be at that level to track calories as well. So I do create a meal example plan. Again, I say meal example plan because I'm not telling them that they need to eat this, 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 and this. But if I can give them 6 or 7 options for the breakfast, and it's like, right, I'm gonna try that Monday, Tuesday, I'm gonna have that Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday I'm gonna try that. Or if they find a breakfast that works for them, it's like, right, I'm gonna have this every single day.
Yeah.
And then again, it's just about filtering it and having options. And say you've got 700 calories left and you haven't took any lunch to work, you can just easy enough go and pick up a meal deal. And
Exactly.
again, in
That's it.
terms of the education side of things in the program, there's a lot of stuff in regards to eating on the go, eating out guides. There's everything there where they can succeed in every situation.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I really like that. So, do many of your guys, obviously you give them a lot of help by the sounds of it in your community, but do you feel that in the fitness industry at this moment in time, with people out there and doing stuff or trying to lose weight and trying to better themselves, do you feel that there is a lot of like people getting overwhelmed because of the amount of information that there really is out there?
100%. Eula spoke to many people before as well, just as I have, and you ask them what they're doing, what the goal is at this moment in time, and they're trying keto, they're cutting carbs, doing this, they're doing that, and
Yeah,
people just don't know what they actually need to do for themselves or what needs put in place for themselves at that given time.
yeah.
Because they've seen a workout on TikTok, they've seen a fella from Wales, Kyan, the skier ball fella, they've seen him. So he's running, so everyone's running now to think that you
Oh
need to
yeah.
lose body fat. So there's that much different stuff, and people don't know whether they should be lifting weights, going for a run, eating a yogurt bowl, or essentially cutting carbs. People just don't know what they should be doing, but because there's this much information out there as well, they actually think they know what they're doing. But people don't know what they actually need to be doing, but people think they do know what they are doing.
Mm. Oh yeah, I totally agree. But it's the same thing. Like obviously, I've been in the industry a long time, right? And I'll give you an instance, right, of a story. There's thing, you know what a Bosu ball is? You would have done it with your football
Yeah, yeah.
training, right? And rehab, yeah. That came out probably uh early 2000s. Okay, but that's been in gone out of fashion, come back into fashion because suddenly someone starts doing press ups on them instead of doing squats and stuff like that. And then next minute, someone's doing, I don't know, all sorts of crazy shit on there, and they're still doing it, right? Then it disappears. But suddenly now, recently, guess what? Bosu balls come back around. Same with
Mm.
kettlebells. Kettlebells did this like 10, 15 years ago. Came in suddenly, oh yeah, everyone wants to do kettlebells. And there was all these little short kettlebell workout like programs, and you can do it at home. You can do this. You're going to get absolutely shredded, bedded in 12 weeks. But no, you didn't. And
No.
then suddenly they go out of fashion, and it's the same with like, let me think, Slimming World. Slimming World was like 80s, 90s, yeah, periods of time in both eras. And then suddenly, what, 12 months ago, 16 months ago, Slimming World, yes, we'll have Slimming World. Sins for our food. You know what I mean? Oh, you can eat
Yeah.
as much pasta as you damn well please, but don't worry about it. Don't
I'd
worry.
fucking love to be able to eat as much pasta as I wanted. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
we know you like
So,
your pasta, mate. So obviously, you know, do you think this is the concept, and this is probably one of the best concepts, flying around at this moment in time, the calorie deficit? Do you think it's oversimplified or not explained well enough?
in my personal opinion, I think it is very simple to understand it. You know, it's you need to if you want to lose fat and maintain muscle, you've got to be in a calorie deficit, aim for at least 1.8 to 2.2 gram of protein per kilo of body weight. And you've got to do that for a consistent period of time. And the lighter you get as a person, the amount of calories you need to eat will be less, or you maybe need to start exercising more to create that energy balance and create that difference. All
Yeah,
right. And that is as simple as it really is. But people are just I had someone message me the other day, and I've spoke to him a good few times, and I've been speaking to him for a year on and off, and
Yeah.
he's inquired about the program 5 or 6 times. So he dropped us a message. Just a quick one, mate. Um, does it depend what time of night I eat? Um,
Don't give me
to
the story.
will that depend on how much weight I lose on a daily basis? And without actually answering the question, I just went back to him and I said, without sounding disrespectful, I work with fellas on a daily basis. I've spoke to you plenty of times. You've inquired about the program. If after a year's time you're still asking that same question, you're not capable of doing it on your own. Would you like to hear more about how we can help you? And he came back to me and said, no, happy with the amount of body fat that I've lost. I'm just a little bit curious to know if it makes a difference because I might start eating a little bit earlier on a night. And mic drop, I had to leave the conversation.
Oh man, I've had some funny stories over the years, but that's up there. That's up there. Now, obviously, I like to end these sorts of or go towards the end of a podcast with some of the common myths in this industry, which need just like absolutely obliterating because they're a joke, right? So, um, this is one of the best ones. Carbs are bad for weight loss.
Ah,
Please
it's
give
a
me.
bit, it's fucking crazy. Like I just don't get it. I when I went through my prep, I lost 16 and a half kilo. I had a calorie split, I had a macro split where I was hit this protein, hit this carb, and hit this fat. And I got into the best shape of my life eating carbs. And I was still energized from my training, and I was still able to play football 3 times a week.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's a load of shit.
Oh yeah, yeah, we know this. But at the end of the day, it's yes, we'll go back to the non-myth of a certain big influencer, shall we say? Yes, I'll give him hats off. He's got onto the Olympia stage, but to go around and scaremonger everyone on the planet to eat no carbs and just eat eggs and meat all day, that isn't sustainable for 99.999% of people on this planet, right? So, yes, I agree with the aspect of yes, we need to control insulin sensitivity. Okay, but that's quite easy. We keep it under control through regular blood testing, right? And blood sugar levels. So, why make life so easy or so hard, shall I say, for everyone? Because of one influencer. It doesn't work. So here's another one for you, mate. Organic foods are always healthier.
So, but that's a challenging one because organic foods are better to have essentially for like your gut and stuff like that. But it doesn't mean that just because it's organic, it's a healthier option. If you've got organic bananas, it's no healthier than a normal banana.
Exactly the
But
same thing.
understanding the concept, if you're gonna go organic, you're just getting better quality of
Mhm.
that food, and that's essentially all it is.
Yeah. A lot of people don't understand that one. So, let's see what else have we got here. Um, you need to starve yourself to lose weight. These are great myths, aren't they?
I think I, I've been there before, right? Where well, I've got it now. So obviously, I went through my shoot, and then I've had the summer to sort of get myself back into a healthier
Uh-huh.
sort of body fat percentage and feel more comfortable within myself. But again, I've probably enjoyed myself a little bit too much with
Yeah.
food and whatnot. And then so I've got a holiday coming up, so I've cut my calories a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
And then sometimes I'm
So,
3 weeks
for
out now.
instance, don't mean to interrupt, right? Give everyone an example, right? You did a photo shoot over 16 weeks, right? Guys, girls. Okay. George, what were you weighing before you did your photo shoot?
89 on the dot, 89
80,
kilo.
89 kilos. Mate, you're bigger than me. How dare you? Heavyweight. But you are probably taller than me.
It must be the height,
Yeah, yeah, it's just the height, mate. You
not the
need
muscle.
It's not the muscle. No, it's not the muscle. It's not the guns, mate. They're a little. Yeah,
Boom.
your little baby pythons are a little bit further behind than mine. Um. So yeah, but so how many calories were you on at the start of your um
Correct.
prep?
Um, Starting calories were 2,985
Right,
on a daily
guys,
basis, which
girls, just listen to
is
that. Repeat that again, mate.
2,985.
2,985 calories, and he weighed 89 kilos. And do you know what your body fat was at the time?
I'm not sure on the percentage of body fat, but
Roughly,
it was
roughly.
probably
Oh,
around 22%,
right.
24% maybe.
24%, 22 to 24%, right? And you're quite lean, you're really around. You're not like shredded
Yeah.
bread, but you're lean, right? You play a lot of football still, or try to, up north in, Mancunian world.
Hmm.
But yeah, guys, girls, this is what I mean by, I've had many a client where I've had to take them up, get their metabolism kick firing again, and then bring them back down slowly. And had to repeatedly do that all the way through their diet plan and diet phases. Give them a diet break, give them a food break. It doesn't work, it works both ways. You can overeat and cause stress on your metabolism by overeating. If your body isn't used to that, that can cause metabolic stress, just like
100%.
not eating, right? So, guys, you got to understand it's not always what you think it's about, right? So, tell me, George. So, you got down to roughly what percentage when you were?
On body fat percentage, probably between 8 and 10%.
There you are, and you were shredded,
And
guys.
I finished it. So I started at 89 and I'd done two shoots in the space of 4 days. The second shoot I weighed in at 73.5, was it? 73.5 or 73.3 or something like that. So
Oh,
yeah, it was a 16 and a half to 16.7 kilo loss, something.
yeah, that's good going, man. That's good going. Um, so obviously you've done your shoot. Um, Here's another myth for you. All calories are equal.
Well,
No, they're not.
certainly not.
Certainly not, are they? But a lot of people think they are. A lot of people think they are. So what are your personal goals going forwards?
Uh, Personal goals or business goals or both.
Both, both. What are your
So
your own goals for your own self? Obviously, you did a photo shoot. You love it.
yeah,
What sounds of it?
the photo shoot process part was good for myself, but it was for the business as well because I've never really took myself through prep or a cut like that. So to work alongside the people that I'm working with and actually showing like this is what it takes to do what you want to do was
Yeah.
massive. Obviously as well, you can get that body dysmorphia. So after prep and stuff like that, when
Uh,
the body fat was coming
that's
back on,
that's going to be my next question for you.
that was a challenge, for sure. And it worked out probably the worst time to do a prep. Well, I thought it was the best time after Christmas, after New Year. It's locked in 4 months. Then I had four stag do's back to back after the shoot. So that killed me. And that sort of derailed a lot of confidence that I had as well. I was confident in my physique, but after that I felt shot. So it's been quite a challenge to sort of get myself back into that position.
Uh,
But now the aim is to sort of lean up a bit for the holiday, and then after that it is about going into a main gain phase for a little while, and then going into a steady gaining phase without gaining too much body fat. But
mhm,
just the aim is to add as much tissue as I possibly can.
mhm.
Um, then business
Have
wise,
you have you
it's
got a have you got a like a figure like in muscle wise you'd like to gain?
not essentially weight wise. We're probably just going off physique. I know when we looked back at my shoot pictures and sort of how I came back after
Mhm.
the prep, there was some weak body part development that we needed to do, and we're putting a lot of emphasis on that right now. And
Right.
sometimes people don't respect like the importance of that. people don't see that they have weak body parts that they need
Well,
to
yeah,
develop as well.
everyone's got weak body parts to a degree. But you've got to understand that, they're weak for a reason. Either they're being ignored or you're just structurally weak in that area. Now, obviously, it's going to take a period of time to get them back to up to where you want them to be, but they might not ever be there. But that's where you've got to take into this is my next question. Did you suffer coming back from prep, i.e., the reverse out? So a lot of people who have competed, guys, girls, don't haven't who haven't competed don't understand it. It's a bit like when people lose weight, they go, right, I'm going to how do I put it? Oh, I can't, my clothes. Oh yeah, no, I feel weird when I've got so far down with my clothes and can't handle it. So it's a reverse of that. How did you feel with that coming out of your prep?
Yeah, it goes back to obviously it couldn't have happened at a worse time. Everything that I had coming up, I was always sort of it's that self-perception as well. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're in fucking good shape," and then like by the time the fourth stag queue comes around, I say, "Haven't you just done a photo shoot? Like it's been going on." So yeah, you have that perception where you need to then look a certain way all the time,
Yeah, yeah,
which is tough because you do get that body dysmorphia.
yeah,
Clothes when you're prepping and when you're losing weight. I love the feeling of clothes getting looser or you put a vest on and obviously you're looking a lot better. Like it does feel nice.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then what I slowly started to realize when you're reversing, floors are feeling a little bit tighter. You're getting a little bit sort of not rounder, but you're getting a lot fuller as well.
Yeah, softer, fuller, squidgier, but in a
Yeah,
good way, but not in a good way.
yeah, for sure.
Where a lot of people don't understand that, and that's where a lot of people freak out, and then they go back the opposite way, and then they put themselves into a worse problem because then they have problems with food, etc., etc., etc. Now, obviously, you're a smart lad. You're not going to be silly and just go and eat nothing just to get back to being rock hard and shredded again. But did you suffer with any of that sort of mental state of it?
Mm. Suffered with because when you go through when I went through prep, obviously we said my calories started at 2985.
Yeah.
Lowest I got to was 2260, which again is still a good considerable amount of calories, like really, really good. But again, my output was so high with football and cardio and obviously everything was very high.
Mhm.
So what I done when I was prepping, obviously sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not good. But I was volume eating a lot. So there was a lot of vegetables, there was a lot of that sort of stuff. Like my meals were massive because I was bulking them out with vegetables. And the biggest thing that I struggled with was now
Digestion.
when I'm not in prep is like getting a meal served to me when I go out, for example, and I look at the meal and I know there's probably about 1,000 calories in that meal and there's nothing to the fucking plate.
Yeah.
Like
So
that's the biggest mind fuck
you
for me.
become you become a number cruncher, number calculator.
Yeah,
So
in your head.
the way to look at it is in a bit different manner to that is like look at the volume factor of what you could make into if you weren't going out, and just look at the positive aspect of like, right, I can have a look like some nice food. There's not a lot of it, but it's a nice association in my head. I can still have this, knowing I'm still within my limits of what I can and can't eat, and stuff like that. Rather than it's oh my god, shit, I can't eat this, not allowed to, blah blah blah, blah. Or
Mhm.
yeah, look at the size of it.
We think the biggest thing is as well, and what sort of was a bit of a head fuck. It's you get caught in two minds after a dieting phase and after a phase where you've been restricted because you could go out for a meal or you could be at home and it's like I should I want that, but I shouldn't have that. Or
Yeah,
like you're out for a meal, it's like, oh, should I get an extra side? And you're like, no, because you're eating too much. So you're always second guessing yourself whether you
yeah,
should have that. But then in the end, you tell yourself, well, I've just been dieting for 16 weeks, so I should be allowed it.
yeah,
But again, it comes down to managing that situation and being like, do you know what? I'm not allowed that because as a whole for my calories for today, I'm gonna be way over where I fucking need to be. But you need to have that self-control as well.
Yeah. And I think I was about to say, you've got to have self-awareness of what your rest of your week's going to be like as well. People always do it on that day. It's just that day. Done, 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 done. Oh, I've got to hit just this day. No, your whole week is influenced. Okay. So it could be like Monday, you shit on Monday. Yes, that's going to influence what happens on Tuesday, and probably Wednesday, or even Thursday to some people, right? So you've got to look at it in multiple confacts of what's going on. So I always say, if you've got plans coming up and you're going out for a meal with clients, I always say, right, okay, give me 2 or 3 days notice, because then we can manipulate your food down a little bit, so we know you can go and do what you want on your night out, and then we know we just keep it very plain Jane for the next 3 days with no slip
Mm.
ups. We just keep you on point for 2 to 3 days afterwards. Not an issue. But I guess it's, coaches like having coaches. And this will be my last question, mate. Do you agree with coaches having coaches?
100%, man. Like, fuck,
Come on.
it's,
How
I
much
actually,
ribbon have you had? How much ribbon? Why you're a coach? Why have you got a coach? Why are you doing
yeah,
this? Can't you coach yourself? Da, 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 da.
man. I went through the gaining phase myself and never had a coach. And even since I've had a coach, it's made so much stuff a lot easier. It takes the guesswork out of my programming. He decides the calories that I eat. He decides the steps I need to do with my football. Then we'll work around the cardio. But when you find the right coach and someone who genuinely cares about yourself and has the right community for what you want to achieve, it's actually game changing, and it's hands down in 2025. So I started with him in January, like it's 8 months now, and it's been like the fastest 8 months probably of my life. But I've gained so much knowledge from him around everything, not just health and fitness, but like life advice. And I replicate a lot of the stuff he does with me, and I do the same with my clients. So it's not
Yeah,
just benefited me as in my health and fitness, it's also benefited me in my business as well. So
yeah, I was about to say, do you do
massively.
you do you think it's like I've trained with some of the best bodybuilders like in Britain and in Australia at times, right? When I've been back there, I've judged in both countries. I've judged with multiple different, well, 3 different federations in total.
Mm,
So I've learned different ways of different peoples, but a lot of people now are just one dimensional. I'm going in, I'm doing online, I'm in. That's it. There's one way. Do you feel that the fact of a coach has given you these multiple tools to use on yourself and proved that it's worked for you to then go on and prove it to your clients? It might not just be instant, it's probably never ever going to be the same as yours, but there's little snippets here, there, here. Like if you came and trained with me, there'd probably be things that you would probably have never ever seen, and vice versa. You know, that I've seen from you've done. Whoa, okay, George, what's going on, mate? You know what I mean? So, do you feel that
it's
has taken your training and your knowledge to the next level?
100%, 100%. There's I do 2 calls a week with him in the community. Like the programming side of things as well was new to me, the way he programs, and then I can ask questions. Why do you program like that? What's the reasoning for doing that? And that's obviously helped me program for my clients and gave me food for thought with them. So it's definitely been very, very infectious, and not just on the way I train, but the way that I interact with my own clients as well. And I know as a byproduct of me transforming the way I act with them, it's helped them walk around day to day with more knowledge as well, because I'm giving them better
Yeah,
understanding of certain things.
that's cool, man. That's cool, mate. That I really appreciate your time today, guys, girls. This is Jordan, and this is the No Bullshit Gymcast podcast, mate. Really appreciate it.
Top class, mate. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank